Hey kiddos, our skill for this week that we're looking at is dividing fractions. Remember, dividing fractions and multiplying fractions are very, very similar in that we end up following the same set of rules, but first we need to convert our dividing fractions over to proper form. We use the keep, change, flip to do that. We keep our first fraction exactly the same, change the division sign to multiplication, and flip our second fraction. So when we do that, our first problem looks like 4/12 times 10 over 3. 4 times 10 is 40, 12 times 3 is 36. Both of these can be divided by 4, which would give me 10 over 9. When I simplify that, it would be 1 and 1/9. Remember that I can pull one group of 9 out of 10, leaving me with 1 over 9. Second one, if I do my keep, change, flip, I am looking at 3/9 times 2 over 1. 3 times 2 is 6. 9 times 1 is 9. I can divide both of these by 3. When I do that, I'm left with 2/3. Next one, when I do my keep, change, flip, I'm left with 7/10 times 3 over 2. 7 times 3 is 21. 10 times 2 is 20. I can pull out one group of 20, and I have one left over. This is as simplified as we can get it. We have 1 and 1/20. Keep, change, flip to set up our question. This leaves us with 8 times 5, which is 40. 10 times 2, which is 20. 40 divided by 20 is 2. That is simplified and final. 2/3 times 10 over 9. 2 times 10 is 20. 3 times 9 is 27. This does not share any factors other than 1, so that is simplified. Keep, change, flip, 2/6 times 4 over 1. 2 times 4 is 8. 6 times 1 is 6. I can pull out one group of 6. I'm left with 2/6. If I divide both of these by 2, simplified all the way down, would be 1 and 1/3. If you have any questions on page number 1, please bring them to class. If you're ready for page number 2, hang tight because here we go. We are continuing to divide fractions. Remember, we're using the keep, change, flip to set ourselves up for success. Once we follow those steps, all we have to do is follow our rules for multiplying. So when we change our first one, we have 2/7 times 8/7. 2 times 8 is 16. 7 times 7 is 49. They only share 1 as a factor, so that is already simplified. Keep, change, flip for this one leaves us with 3 times 6, which is 18, 12 times 2, which is 24. Both of these can be divided by 6. Our simplified answer would be 3/4. Again, keep, change, flip. 6 times 7 is 42. 36 times 6 is 252. These look big and scary, but they can both be divided by 42. It cuts us down to 1/6. Remember, if you get to one like this and you're unsure, our go-tos are, can I divide it by 2? Can I divide it by 5? Can I divide it by 10? You could start by dividing this one by 2 because both numbers end in an even number and simplify it from there. Sometimes it is easier for our brains to simplify it in parts instead of simplifying it all the way down. All right, next one, keep, change, flip. 4 times 10 is 40. 50 times 5 is 250. Dividing it by 10 gives us 4 over 25, and that is simplified. 6 over 30 times 8 over 2. 6 times 8 is 48. 30 times 2 is 60. We can divide these and simplify it down to 4/5. 4/5. Keep, change, flip. We multiply this. We get 50 over 40. We divide by 10 to give us 5 over 4, which simplifies to 1 and 1/4. If you have any questions on page number 2, please bring them with you to class. If you're ready for page 3, hang tight because here we go. All of these we are dividing by a whole number. Remember that if we have a fraction and it doesn't have a denominator, we have to give it 1. This rule applies for multiplying or dividing our fractions. It does not matter. We still have to follow that rule. Once we set it up and we have 2 fractions, then we go ahead and do our keep, change, flip. When we do this, all of these become easy fractions to multiply. because we're talking about 1/6, 1/7, and so forth. So up here we have 6 times 1 is 6. 100 times 3 is 300. Can divide both of these by 6. Simplifies to 1 over 50. When we multiply this, we get 11 over 125. 11 is prime. It does not divide into 125, so that one is simplified. 21 times 1 is 21. 50 times 2 is 100. They do not share a common factor, so this one is also simplified. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 20 is 80. 3 is prime, does not divide into 80, so this one is simplified. 2 times 1 is 2. 6 times 8 is 48. We can cut this in half, simplify it down to 1 over 24. Last one on this page, 1 times 7 is 7. 10 times 7 is 70. If we divided these both by 7, we would end up with 1/10. If you have any questions on page number 3, please bring them with you to class. If you are ready for page number 4, hang tight, because here we go. All of the questions on this page are starting with mixed numbers. We know that in order to work with our mixed numbers, we need to first make them improper. We do that using the reverse C method. So we multiply the denominator times the whole number and add the numerator. So when we do that with this one, 100 times 3 is 300. Add 23, we end up with 323 over 100. We also have to keep change flips, so these take a lot of prep work to get them ready for multiplying. When we multiply this one across, we get 1,292 over 100. I know this one takes some simplifying. If we simplified by dividing them both by 4, that would get us down to 323 over 25. And then when we make it a mixed number, because we don't want to leave our top number bigger, we are left with 12 and 23 over 25. Next one, 5 times 5 is 25. Add 3 is 28 over 5. Keep change, flip. And now we're ready. 28 times 4 is 112. 5 times 2 is 10. We can pull out our groups of 10. We can divide it by 2. We're left with 11 and 1/5. 2 and 17 over 20. 20 times 2 is 40. Add 17 is 57 over 20. Keep change, flip. And now we're ready to get started. When we multiply across, we get 456 over 60. We can divide both of these by 12, which would give us 38 over 5. Final answer, simplified all the way down, is 7 and 3/5. Over here, 50 times 4 is 200. Add 30. 2 is 232 over 50. Keep change, flip. We multiply by 8 over 5. This gives us 1,856 over 250. We can divide that by 2 and get 928 over 125, which simplifies to 7 and 53 over 125. 2 more on this page. 25 times 2 is 50. Add 13 is 63 over 25. Keep change, flip. And we multiply. We get 567 over 200. This simplifies down to 2 and 167 over 200. Last one, when we multiply 8 times 7, add 7 is 63 over 8. Keep change, flip, multiply by 3 over 1. Gives us 189 over 8. Simplifies down to 23 and 5/8. If you have any questions on page 4, please bring them with you to class. Otherwise, last page is coming, so here we go. We are continuing to divide by fractions for our last page. These were nice and easy. No mixed numbers, no whole numbers. So all we need to do is our keep, change, and flip. When we do that and we multiply, we get 144 over 200. We could divide both of these by 8. But again, if you're unsure, remember our go-tos are, can I cut it in half or divide by 2, 5, or 10? This would simplify down to 18 over 25. Let me get back in real quick because we were almost done. Sorry about that, friends. I went and hit the button. There we go. All right, so back to where we were. We have 5/20ths divided by 6/7. Keep change, flip. 5 times 7 is 35 over 120. We can divide both by 5. We simplify to 7 over 24. 3/5 times 8 over 7 with our keep change flip. We multiply and we get 24 over 35, and this is simplified. 2/8 times 10 over 7. 2 times 10 is 20. 8 times 7 is 56. Divide both of these by 4. We get 5 over 14. Last two, keep, change, flip. 5 times 4 is 20. 10 times 4 is 40. This would simplify down to 2/4. Divide both by 2 gives you 1/2. Last one, keep, change, flip. 7 times 8 is 56. 25 times 2 is 50. We can cut both of these in half. And then once we simplify it all the way down, we have 1 and 3/25. That is the end of our homework for this week. If you have any questions, as always, please bring them with you to class. Goodbye, mathletes.